And we are live. Good evening, everyone.
Oh,
Welcome
excellent.
to Wandering DMs Plays Solo Call of Cthulhu, The Haunting. Happy to be back. A little hiatus there.
Yes.
Welcome back, Dan.
Yes, we did. Yes. And to you, Paul.
Yeah.
Likewise. Likewise.
Thank you. Yes.
So,
yes. Excellent.
yeah,
So we were trying to remember what the hell we were doing 2-3
Right.
weeks ago, whatever that was when we started
Yes.
this. We were playing Call of Cthulhu by the book using the 7th edition quick play rules, which are freely available on Chaosium's website. Quick start rules. And we are playing the adventure in the back of those quick start rules called The Haunting, which I'm led to believe is a very classic Call of Cthulhu adventure that's been in the back of the book for many, many editions now. But I had never read it. And when I did read it, I thought that would make I think that would make a good one-on-one game.
Cool.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So, Dan is playing a professor. What do you remember about your character there, Dan?
Oh, so many things, Paul. I have
Yes,
almost
tell us about
encyclopedic memory of Mr. Simon Klerx is who I am playing. Good evening to you, who is a professor at Northeastern, but he had his doctorate at Harvard, and he has a little bit of a grudge that he's not teaching there. He doesn't have a chair there. And Mr. Klerx has many interesting skills, Paul, as I recall, including a pretty good credit rating.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, what are his top three? The top one skill, rich.
Yeah, credit rating, and history and Latin. So I think I'm ready to confront cosmic horror.
I mean, it's an interesting point, right? So one of the things about playing Cthulhu, I think, is to have a bit of a sense of the skills of your character and be prepared to try and push on them, right? Use them to your advantage, right? Credit rating is a skill that can be rolled.
Okay.
So if you want to, if you're trying to convince someone to do a thing, you could be like, well, can I use my credit rating skill? I'm gonna,
Oh, really?
impress him that I'm important. Maybe, give him a big tip and say, come on, pal. Do what I'm asking.
Great.
Yeah,
that's important totally because actually, where I come from in life, that's actually the most out of my role, out of my own character role that I have to get into somebody else's mindset that you can just splash money around. You're right. That is the biggest stretch for me as a role player, as a matter of fact. I'm just realizing I could actually imagine I can imagine being a sailor or a lobsterman, but having a lot of money, it's like, ooh, really? Wow. Must be. What's that like?
That's great. Yeah, I love that. I love that it's actually a skill that can be rolled. I think that's pretty cool.
Gotcha.
I will also remind you.
You point that out.
Yep. I will also remind you that it is within your power when you fail a skill roll to push the roll. And in that mechanic, you get to re-roll it a second time. But I, as GM, am meant to increase the stakes and make failure a little worse. So keep that in mind.
Yeah, it's interesting because I feel like I feel like that's a mechanic that someone who was accustomed to being really wealthy would be prone to using a lot, and someone who is had a mindset of going through life with less resources would be less likely to push their luck. But I don't know. I'm just philosophizing on the fly, and that's possibly super dangerous.
Excellent. So, what, if anything, do you remember about what was going on in Simon Klerx's life beyond just generally wanting a position at Harvard?
Well, okay, I'm going to try to dig in my memory bank for that, Paul. And while I do that, maybe you could remind our viewers about our fundraising.
Yes,
that's going on at the moment.
Yeah. Throughout the course of June, we are fundraising for the Bell Project. You can see the banner up here at the top of our screen. It is live. We have a very modest goal of $500, inspired by the streamer Cypher of Tyr, who also started with a $500 goal, who I now believe is well over $300,000. Amazing, well done. She deserves all the success that she has achieved. And so, taking a little bit of inspiration from her, we have put the old banner up on top of our own site. We're at $150 right now. If you do donate during the course of the show, it will update up there, and we will try to pay attention and give you a big thank you. Or if you'd rather, you can certainly donate anonymously as well, and then we will just say thank you to whoever that may have been. I'm going to post the link into the chat right now, or very soon, as soon as I figure out how to get the link. I'm going to post the that's the thing. That's the thing. I'm going to post that right in the chat, so that's where you can go to donate. It's a pretty slick little interface. You can actually even go, if you follow that link, you'll find that this very stream that you're watching is there on that webpage, in addition to the buttons to donate. So you don't have to miss a beat. Watch the show.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Great.
A really great cause, and I'm glad that we're linked up to that, and it's a really great cause and something that I've thought about in the past, and really makes an enormous difference. It's weird. I was just talking about that, and it makes an enormous difference of people that have a lot of money don't have to worry about that, and people that don't have resources. It's a life-changing event, so you can totally change someone's life and their whole family for a donation tonight. So we would really appreciate that.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so what do you remember about our old pal Simon Klerx there, Dan?
Almost nothing. Let me see. I have some paper notes here. Just 1 second.
All right.
This? Yes.
Well, I know some things, and I'm happy to share, Dan.
So many things that I remember.
Okay, well, I'm happy to catch you up to speed there, Dan, because I did do some review beforehand.
I was. Let me. You don't need to tell me this, Paul. Mr. As Simon Klerx, I have almost total recall of everything that I have seen from weeks ago in my research, and there was Professor Fred Williams. Yes. Who is a Harvard professor who is nearing retirement age, who gave me the keys to his house that he has recently come into possession of, but there's some sort of property issue there that people are unwilling to lease it from him. So I have been tasked with determining the problem with the house and clearing it out such that he can rent it to perhaps graduate students and receive enough money so that he can retire comfortably, and then perhaps put a good word in for myself to get the chair at Harvard, which I really should have had all along. So right. We've got to...
Small correction, don't actually have the keys. He's going to deliver you. He's going to deliver the keys to you. He hasn't received them himself yet. He's going to pass them on to you. So far, you've been doing some preliminary research. You took a trip down to the Boston Globe, where a rather ornery editor rebuffed you. And you then, I think, went down to the Central Library, maybe, or the Hall of Records. I
believe I sent my servant. I sent my servant to the library for some research purposes. Yes.
Right. Yes, and in fact, I believe we ended just as the two of you were meeting for lunch to compare notes. So you maybe had an afternoon left of time before we roll into the next day, and you can pick up the keys.
Yes.
So there's still plenty of research you could do if you wanted to. Not required. We can certainly skip ahead if you prefer that. But maybe it might help if in Roll20 here you flipped over to the library tab and looked at some of the handouts that are there to refresh some of the information you had. Am I
at lunch with Mr. St. John at this point?
You are indeed. Yes. You're teaching assistant. I've forgotten his first name. What was it again?
Asuka
St. John. Yes, international fellow, which I believe, let's see, if I recall, he had a faint English accent. Yes.
Great. I recall it as well. So, Asuka, allow me to show you some of the newspaper clippings, which I have procured.
The ones I've just passed to you, sir, that I've retrieved from the library. From the library. Yes, of course, sir. Let's review them together, shall we?
Yes. What a good idea. So yes, we have this interesting clipping, which I have recently been shown, my good man.
Yes, indeed.
Telling me that Mr. Henry Weber has sold his recently completed Sheep Street property to one Walter Corbett. This seems to be of an unknown date, so perhaps the person that procured this could have been somewhat more helpful by noting the date of this. But
I'm
but
sorry,
so be
sir.
it.
It was a very old publication, and I'm afraid much damaged.
Oh,
But,
not a large problem, my good man. And there is also this. There's an interesting clipping from the Herald.
Excellent. I think perhaps, sir, if one were to place one's finger in the middle there, where that's odd. There you are. There you are, sir. Lovely.
Right, like this. Yes. I see this. As from 1852, and I see an interesting article here that the neighbors were suing Mr. Corbett for in consequence of his serious habits, which we have still not determined at this point what the word "serious" means. But his serious habits and inauspicious demeanor were apparently causing some amount of heartache to his neighbors. So Mr. Corbett has made no statement in response to the lawsuit. He resides at the Sheep Street address, which he purchased 17 years ago. So perhaps we can determine the date from the other item there from that.
I might be inclined, sir, to send the Herald a letter about their atrocious vocabulary and spelling, were the article not some 70 years old.
My good man, I think I might do that anyway.
Yes.
There is really there's no excuse for getting things right, rather sooner or later. So I think I might actually do that when I get a few minutes. That's a grand idea. Why be a lazy bones and avoid the correction, I would say. And then in addition, there's also this interesting tidbit. Sometime later, the neighbors continued to file lawsuits even after Mr. Corbett's demise, as I see here. So I see persecution at the hands of small-minded folk. Indeed.
That article from the header, I think, comes from the Globe. Weren't you visiting the Globe earlier, sir? Were they of any?
Oh yes, they were very helpful. They were very, very helpful, and I think I have a good amount of context around these these news clippings with which to make additional sense of them. So yes, right. So I think we could stop by anytime we want, and they give me a very warm welcome and gain additional assistance if we so need.
Excellent.
Yes.
Well, what shall we do,
yes, remind me when I'm going to get the keys from Mr. Williams.
I believe tomorrow morning, sir.
Yes, tomorrow morning, of course.
Yes.
So perhaps I should. So this was. Remind me what year it is right now, Azuka. I seem
yes,
to.
I believe it is 1926, sir.
Yes, 26, of course. Yes, a fine decade that we're in, really.
Yes, indeed.
And I'm sure that many interesting things are happening and will continue to do so for several decades in the future. It's a fine one of my favorite decades to date. So perhaps I see that Pastor Michael Thomas. Almost being phrased, had part in the will when Corbett died. So I wonder if Mr. Thomas might possibly still be present or alive, or perhaps we should look him up.
Perhaps.
Do you think that is a possibility? Yes.
It could be. Where should we look? How should we find such a fellow?
Well, if he's a pastor, perhaps he's now a bishop or something like that at this point. So perhaps we should.
Does it say the name of the church, sir?
I don't think it does.
Oh, pity.
I don't see that. Well, look, there's this Councilman Ellsworth here, right? So clearly, that's some sort of distinguished gentleman of the time. So either his children must still be known. So let's
Councilman
look up.
sounds
let's
like
look up.
sounds like an official name, sir. Councilman, right? That's a politician of
Right.
some sort, right? Surely there are
Yes.
records of his term of office somewhere, perhaps at City Hall or some
Yes.
such.
Yes, quite. So so we shall go to City Hall and we shall look up the address and perhaps give he or his family a visit.
Oh, excellent, sir.
Wonderful. I'm glad you agree with my stellar idea here. So yes, let us go. Have I been to town hall this morning? Have I already been there?
Yes, you had been to the hall. You had been to the Hall of Records, in fact,
Right.
where you had spoken with someone, I believe. Can't remember what you actually dredged up there. One of these newspaper clippings? No, surely these all came from.
You know what, Zuka? I believe that the help that I think I was told that that Mr. Thomas actually is the Reverend of the Church of Secrets, is what I was told.
Church of Secrets.
Yes. Most unusual.
That's an odd name, sir. Church of Secrets.
Yeah, I would think so. I am not the most religious of men, but it did seem outside the scope of normal church identification, if you will. It seems like perhaps it would be difficult to find if it's a secret church. So perhaps tracking down the pastor himself would not be the most likely thing.
As I recall, Dan, now you visited the Hall of Records specifically to look at sale records on the house and find the house's actual address, which I believe you should have at this point.
Yes. Well, we know it's at. Just looking at this, we know it's on Sheaf Street.
Correct.
It's right there. It's 20 Sheaf Street in Cops Hill.
There you go. There you go.
Yes.
Perfect.
So I'm debating whether we should just go to that place and look at it without the keys, but that seems might as well get the keys the next morning. So yes, so let's go to the City Hall and find out the address or the dwelling of Mr. Ellsworth or his current family.
Pretty good, sir.
Descendants is what I'm looking for here, yes. How do you say descendants? Yes, that's it.
Yeah, you're the linguist.
Come. There's no time. You're right. You're right. I know so many languages that I get them scrambled up from time to time. I apologize. So up we go, off to City Hall once again.
Excellent.
Come.
So you head back.
You
head back to the large City Hall. Big. A lot of marble, very grandiose, big columns, but generally fairly empty. Not a lot of foot traffic, so it's pretty quiet. Your heels of your shoes echo across the marble floor as you cross to the desk, where the clerk that you spoke with before is in fact still here. If he had a name, I didn't write it down, so.
Oh, no. I think this might be with Mr. Williams, actually.
Oh.
Yes. Now I've forgotten the name of my colleague at Harvard. Oh dear.
Excellent. So the clerk greets you. Welcome back, sir. How can I help you today?
Yeah. Yes.
Are you here to do more research into property records?
Not exactly. I'm looking for the address of Mr. Councilman Ellsworth, who was a councilman here in the city some 50 years ago or so. So I'm assuming that the family name would still be prominent and well known, at the very least, if he's not still with us.
Do you know what years he was actively serving?
I think in 1866 is my
Excellent.
my.
Well, that's a
And
start.
my memory's ironclad, so I'm pretty
That's a
sure.
start.
I'm pretty sure it's in the summer of 1866. He was a councilman. Yes.
We could certainly dig into the election result records, and we could find out what precinct he was in, and
Yes.
there should be a mailing address or something something to go on. Let's take a look,
Yes.
shall we?
We should do that.
Excellent. So I will ask you to roll me library use as you head into the records to start digging through. With the aid of the clerk.
Looking for some election results, or as the Romans would say, electio resultum. I'm sorry, what was this again? This was history?
Library use.
Library use? Okay.
Yeah.
Just
Fine.
Is that what I do?
Yeah. No, not 8. I see. Oh,
great.
your character sheet's covering the dice.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
There they are.
Sorry, resizing. There we go. Oh, nice. What a wonderful roll. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, in fact, we were earlier debating, Dan, whether or not you wanted the chat log visible or not, and it does show that nice big results of your roll thing. So maybe it is worth displaying just for that. I don't know. Maybe.
Coming up.
Yeah, right there we go. Library use.
Nice.
40. Very nice.
Sweet.
Yeah, that's a nice little something. Somehow I think
That's
that came
lovely.
with the character sheet plugin for Roll20 for Cthulhu.
Right.
So that's
Right.
pretty great. Okay, great. So you rolled pretty well. You go digging through. You do find some election results. You find the term of his that he was in office. You go through. You cross-reference that with some census data. Unfortunately you're not able to find any descendants. However, you do dig up a court docket which references his name, and which kind of jumps out at you because it looks a little unusual. And I'll add this to your list of handouts.
Oh, my goodness.
So in digging through old records, you find this old court docket, and you'll notice that the councilman's name jumps out somewhere, I think, towards the bottom of that.
Oh, yes. Oh, his first name is Daniel. Good biblical name. Very good, to my knowledge. Yes, member of the church in relation appealed in relation to events in Copp's Hill, Boston Sea report. Oh, there's a report at the police station on May 21st. I see. Interesting. Case dismissed. Then the councilman dismissed the case. Well, that seems odd that he would bring the case and then dismiss it himself. Wonder why he would do that. He would do that. So,
and actually,
there should be. So we should follow up on this. So, would this police report be at the police station, or would it be in some archives at this point?
The clerk says, the police keep their own records. They probably, they might still have them.
All right. Well, we should go over there. We should go over there post haste. I tip Mr. Williams well with my credit ratings. You have been most helpful once again, Mr. Williams.
Oh, thank you, sir. Oh, thank you.
Yes.
Please, anytime, anything I can do to help, please do come by.
I will do that. I will possibly be back two or three more times today. You are such a pleasant person to be with, Mr. Williams. I will possibly be back multiple more times.
Have a nice day.
Yeah, I will do that. Come, Azuka. Why are we hanging around here at the moment?
Yes.
Yes. We should. Hot two. Let's go over to the police station.
Very good, sir. Shall we just walk or take the subway?
Oh, the subway is dank this time of year. Let us enjoy the air and walk.
Oh, very good, sir. All right, the two of you walk towards the police station, which is actually quite close. You head over to the police station. Now the police station is a bit more busy. It is clearly involved in the everyday activities of policing the city of Boston. So as you come into the entryway to the police station, you can see that there are a variety of officers about, some sitting at desks, filling out paperwork, others perhaps escorting someone through to some other interior part of the station. But you can see that there is there's an officer stationed at a tall desk, like where they're standing behind a sort of raised desk, and they're there. They look up in your direction, ready to see to whatever it is.
Of course he is.
Station.
Yes, I walk up to this gentleman. I said, "Hello, I am Professor Simon Klerx of the Northeastern University for the moment, philology department, and I am looking for assistance, which I assume you can provide to me."
Sure, Professor. What can I do for you?
Yes, I'm looking for a fairly old police record of Councilman Ellsworth on Corbett Street, on Sheaf Street, some sort of dispute with a pastor, and I'm looking for the report from that time.
Old records? Like how
Yes.
far back are we talking about here?
I think in the 1866 era.
Oh, that's old. Oh, wow.
It is of interest. It is of interest to me. Yes. No, that doesn't zoom up like that. This. I can actually see it. Oh, no, 1912? 1912. Is that what I see there? Is it this here? 1912? That's sometime later. That's a great deal of time later. Is that what I'm reading?
Yes, indeed. That is exactly...
Really?
I don't know. It does say 1912. That can't be right.
That can't be right. This seems to be... There's a 19 here.
Yeah.
Perhaps my notes have some sort of misprint in them.
I don't know. It says what it says.
Let me just look back at this here. So this is clearly 1866, and this is a place to stay on releasing it. This is also a silly typo, because this was 1852 here.
That is certainly a typo. That should say
Right.
1852, not 1952. Right. So that's specifically about a lawsuit against Corbett, right?
Right.
Well, I say, sir, in the docket, is it mentioning the same? Is it the same case, sir, in the docket?
No.
No.
So it's the state of Massachusetts. Oh, it's the state. Oh, it's the state of Massachusetts versus the pastor. Oh.
Oh,
well,
and I say,
I
is that the name? Is that the name of the church there, sir, Pastor?
Yes, it is the Chapel of Contemplation, which I had previously been referred to as the Church of Secrets.
Interesting, sir.
But these religious types, who knows?
Perhaps it refers to a different matter. Perhaps
I think that you are correct.
councilman interfered multiple times in affairs to do with the pastor.
I think that you are correct. I think good point, Azuka. Good point. Well done. Well done for pointing this out. Yes. So I tell the lieutenant that yes, this case is from 1912, definitely. Case from the state. So see, there's a report here, K381, Boston Central Police Station. So yes, so I assume that you have the record here, and I would appreciate being able to look at it.
I mean, we don't usually just let the public come digging through our records, Professor.
Of course not. Of course not. We would not want to. We would not want the hoi polloi getting their greasy thumbs all over your archival matter. Of course not. We only professionals such as myself should be permitted to access the police records.
Oh, is this some scholarly matter? Is this something to do with a class you're teaching? Oh,
it's not a class, but it is for research and possibly publication and in events of historical note.
Oh, publication. Well,
yes.
Would my name get in the paper for this? Maybe.
Possibly so. Indeed,
Officer De Bruin. Officer De Bruin.
Yes,
that's
D-E. Write that down if you. Azuka, write this down if you get so kind.
DEBRUN. De Bruin. Kyle.
Yes, Officer De Bruin. I could imagine you being acknowledged in a paper that I was writing for possibly international publication.
Oh, my marshal would like to see that, I think.
Yes. What is your mother's name and address, and we'll send her a card. Azuka, write this down. Write all this down.
Yeah. That's Patricia De Bruin. Yeah, and she's up on Quincy Street.
Very good. Very good. Mother De Bruin. Yes, she's raised a fine son, and she should be very proud.
Okay, all right. Well, I guess. Hey, Officer Mars, come cover for me. We gotta go back into the record room. just cover for me. And he leads you back into a back room in the police office, the police station that is just full of like big old filing cabinets, boxes, right. Like legal boxes of legal documents that are clearly not well organized. He's got just like a bare bulb hanging from the ceiling that he yanks on a chain to click on and lights up this room, and it just looks like an absolute cluttered mess. And he starts just kind of just pawing through, clearly having no idea where to look. Just starts pawing through, looking for stuff.
Oh no!
And Asuka just kind of rolls up his sleeves and starts digging through a box as well.
Well, I follow likewise. So I looked for the box labeled 1912.
Great. Roll me
on the general part of the room.
Roll me a spot hidden check if you would.
Spot hidden. Right, and I'm going to get this on camera. Do it. Coming in. Spot hidden. So that is. There we go. Oh dear. My skill is not fantastic. Oh, I have failed. I failed quite terribly. Well, I give up. I don't think it's here. I think the whole 1910 seems to be missing from this room. I think there's been a fire or something. Perhaps, Mr. De Bruin. Perhaps if I paid you for your time for the next hour or so, perhaps we would find things. Perhaps I could get some of your assistants, some of the junior officers in here in order to assist us. Yes.
Oh, there's a reward for finding the info.
Yes, there is. Yes, I am. Yes, there is in fact a reward for this information. Yes, it does.
Roll me. Dan, go ahead and roll me your credit rating skill. See if you
extreme success.
He opens the door. Hey guys! You'll never believe this. This is Mr. Fancy Pants Professor. He is going to give a reward if we can find a police report from 1912. No, really? like 3 officers come charging into the room, and they all start digging through. What are we looking for? 1912? Just anything from 1912? I bet there's something in here from 1912. Sir, perhaps we should give them more to go on.
Yeah. Good point. Also, did anybody get me a coffee? Would be really wonderful at this point.
You got
right.
it.
This. Wonderful. Yes. Sorry. Yes, we're looking for a report. I think K321 Central Press from May. Anyway, so it must have been prior to May 21st of the 1912 annum.
All right.
RK321, I believe. So they, no matter of the state, the state of Massachusetts was bringing some sort of action.
All right. We'll look and we'll dig through it until we find it. We'll where how should we reach yous if we find it?
Oh, this is going to take a while. Azuka, give the men my card with our address on it. And yes, you could just come by at normal visiting hours. Would be fine.
All right.
And I greatly appreciate this.
They now got like 3 police officers just digging through every box and every filing cabinet, and papers are going everywhere. And you estimate, it probably would take a couple hours of them digging through. But if there's something here, these guys are probably going to brute force their way through this into a brute force search and find you whatever it is you're looking for.
Well, as a man of some amount of status and monetary resources, I feel completely confident in the local gendarmes' activities, and I feel completely safe in everything that they're doing for me. And I leave them to their actions, and I walk out with Azuka. Come, Azuka. I think everything is well handled here.
Okay. Great. So, you leave, and is there anything else you want to do?
I think that's the main thing. I can't think of anything else other than I wish I knew the word sir. Oh yeah, I want to write the letter to the Herald complaining about their sloppy language usage or Zurius from 60 years ago.
Great.
So I'll go home and pen that letter right now. Yeah.
Excellent. You return home. You spend the late afternoon penning a letter to the Herald about a 70-year-old article. Put that in the mail. Feel pretty confident about that. You have some supper. I will say at this point, Asuka goes off to wherever it is Asuka lives, off to the his own home. The two of you with plans to meet up in the morning to pick up the keys, or the keys were going to be dropped off to you. So Asuka will return in the morning to meet you here.
Excellent.
And once you have the keys,
we can go to the actual property at that point.
Later in the evening, well after you've had dinner and you're relaxing, perhaps having a smoke by the fireplace, your attention is caught by bright flashing lights outside your house. And you look outside, and you can see there's a police car outside with the lights going, and the 3 officers all are coming trundling up your front path.
Oh, excellent!
And one of them bangs on the door.
Wonderful. And I open it immediately. I give them a warm greeting because, again, I am a man of some status and resources and wealth, and I feel very comfortable with an event such as this.
Professor Klerx.
Yes, that is me. That is I. Please come in.
Excellent.
Come in. Come in. Would you like some tea or some coffee or something like that, or perhaps a small amount of brandy?
That's all right.
I get you a brandy.
We was looking for. No, I'm on duty, sir. I can't.
Well, has that ever really stopped anyone, if you know what I mean, right? Technically, I'm not supposed to be drinking before glasses either, but it hasn't stopped me yet. Anyway, I'll just pour 3 glasses, and it's up to you whether you want to partake or not.
Excellent. Look, we had a little trouble. We dug through all them papers for you, looking for looking for that specific report from 1912 about the pastor and the members of the Church of Contemplation and the councilman Ellsworth, and I mentioned Copp's Hill there on the docket you had.
Yes.
Yeah. So so here it's kind of weird. We couldn't find that specific report. That report, it was just missing. It just wasn't there. We found the one that went before it and the one that went after it. So it must have been there at some point. And it looks to us like someone got rid of it. But look, we did our look. We really want the reward. So we dug through and we found some other reports that are about similar stuff. We found it's a little more recent, but it's of the same area. Where is it? Hang on. Who's got that? Who's got that thing? That report. Find that report.
Perhaps there's another car coming with the... Okay, here we are.
Just want to make sure we give you the right one. Here we go. What should have played? I'm pressing the button.
Good. Precise.
There we go.
I see. Well, this didn't...
See how it mentions, right? It mentions that street, that's a street that's in Copp's Hill that we know, and it talks about the 55 defendants, and we think there was something about it looks like there was do we not have wait a minute, do I not have a handout about I guess I don't have a handout for this one, but listen, we found some other records about a raid on that church, the Church of Contemplation, and they gathered up 55 people. Hang on, I got it right here. There was a big raid on the church, on the Chapel of Contemplation, and three policemen and 17 members of the church were killed by gunfire.
What?
Yeah, crazy, right? How do I not have that one? But here you go. It's right here. He has some paperwork on it.
Right. Oh my goodness. Well, this is terrible. This is.
Yeah, it looks to me, it's really weird because there's like a lot of stuff missing in this report. But it looks to me like, they arrested these 55 people, and then a lot of them are just disappear. Like somebody got them out of there and then wiped the records or burned up the records about their incarceration.
It's most strange. And it is also strange because this matches the fact that there were records missing on the in the Hall of Archives for the sales records of some amount of time prior to that. So this seems to be a recurring problem with our record keeping system.
Yeah.
So
I can tell you this too. I also found some information for you here. Look at here. I got a report here that says that Pastor Michael Thomas was arrested and sentenced to 40 years in prison on 5 counts of second-degree murder.
Oh my goodness!
Escaped from prison in 1917 and fled.
Oh my goodness! Well, that is a disappointing failure of our incarceration system, which I'm unused to because, in my experience, our incarceration system works perfectly fine. So most surprising. So I wonder why one defendant would not request a lawyer while everyone else would. So this gentleman was 63. All right, that was only about 10 years ago, 15 years ago. So Perhaps this gentleman is still. I wonder if this gentleman is still in the area that we have a name for. Is there? And was there? Did you find anything else from that period of time? Okay, so this is not right. Okay, so this is okay. So the house that we're engaged in is 20 Sheaf Street, and the address here is 27 Sheaf Street. So that's
that's the address of the church.
Interesting. I see. Surprising.
So,
well,
is that enough to warrant the reward?
Well, admittedly, it is not exactly the report that we were looking for, but a passably decent job. So, yes, I will give the entire reward. So you've done the best that you could. Right. So, yes, indeed. I will. Let me go to my checkbook right this moment, and I go and get my checkbook and a pen, and I write it out and I rip it off. And I hand this good man a check for those. Now, of course, you'll be dividing that up with your compatriots equivalently, and I hope that your friends here will be split. I assume.
Yeah, of course. And you tell me when that paper's gonna come out, because my ma sure would like to see my name on the paper.
I will definitely do that, Officer De Bruyne. Yes, and I will have my man send a letter to Patricia on the first thing in the morning. What a wonderful man she's brought up.
Good night, sir.
Yes, thank you, Officer De Bruyne. Take care.
Happily march out of your rooms.
Great. Did they have the brandy while they were standing there, or?
You notice all the brandy cups are empty.
Very
brandy
good.
glasses.
I'll take them in and watch them.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Well, that's interesting. Whole lot of missing documents. All right. Well, I'm just going to get it. I'm going to go in. I'm going to turn in early, and I'm going to get a good night's sleep, and then I'll wake up and wait for Asuka to get procure the keys with me.
Excellent.
Accept the keys in the morning. Yes.
Yes. Yeah. So in the morning, you get up. You go to bed early. Get up nice and bright and early in the morning, so you have plenty of time to have your breakfast, read the paper. Asuka shows up in the morning. The two of you have a little bit of coffee together, and eventually a delivery person shows up, comes and raps on the door. Mr. Simon Klerx?
Yes, that is
Mr.
me.
Simon Klerx.
Yeah.
Can you sign right here?
Yeah, that is me. Yes, I will do that.
Sign here, please.
Great. I signed my name with a flourish.
Here you are, sir. And he hands you kind of a yellow envelope, and you can feel from the weight of it that there's clearly a set of keys sealed in the envelope.
Great. I rip it open and I put it in my pocket.
Actually,
it doesn't.
There's a little note in there from your friends, the professor, who says, thank you so much for looking into this for me. Eagerly awaiting your findings.
Yes, excellent.
Meeting with the board at Harvard later this weekend.
This is my opportunity. To get back into Harvard. Excellent. We must do the best. We must make the professor very happy, Asuka.
Oh, very good, sir.
Yes, they pay assistants better at Harvard. I will point out.
Oh, indeed.
Yes, they do.
Will my credits? Will they transfer my credits, sir?
We will talk about that later. There may be some complications. There will be. I'm sure the majority of your work will be transferable. Yes, you have my word on that. Excellent. Yes. How about we waltz on down to Sheep Street and see the condition of the property?
Excellent. Okay. So you head on down to Sheep Street. So you head to Sheep Street, and you can see that this area of town has recently been built up. As you come into the town, you can see that it is sort of an interesting mishmash of more modern buildings, which are larger apartment buildings or offices of various types that look very modern and new and clean. And every now and then, interspersed with them, there is a smaller, older house, often looking somewhat dilapidated. Sometimes even just a foundation of a house where clearly some work crew has recently completely knocked down and is about to start construction on something new here. So this neighborhood is clearly in the midst of being revitalized. As you head down Sheaf Street, you can see it's fairly quiet. You can see there's a you see one. You can see number 20 up ahead on your left. It's a very small, boarded up house with a lot of vines overgrowing it. Looks like it was once a decent house, but is quite old and untended. Outside on the street near it there's a small newsstand with a news seller selling papers and magazines. And then further up the street, where you guessed 27 would be, you can see is an area of more just kind of rubble. It looks like wherever the church was, that there's not much church left.
Interesting. I actually want to go up to that address, actually, and take a closer look just to see if there's anything.
Number 27 or number 20?
Yeah, I do. 27.
Okay, great. So you head up the street. You can see it really is just what you would describe as ruins. They're just so weathered and overgrown with green vines that it almost looks more like natural stone than the remains of actual walls and foundation. You pass a slumping wall that is actually, you notice, freshly painted with a strange symbol on it, which I am now showing to you. For those who, if anyone's only listening to this, we don't do a podcast version of the show, do we? But apparently, sort of three Y's arranged in a triangle, so the top elements of each Y touch each other, and in the center, a sort of eye-looking thing. Dan, all we're seeing on your screen is there you go.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it wasn't updating or something. Okay, great.
Yes, for the people enjoying the radio drama version. Yes, some sort of slightly broken triangle with an eye in it on this brick wall. So the wall itself is new. It's a freestanding wall, and it's new.
It's a piece of wall. It's like a piece of the old church wall. But like I said, most of the church itself is gone, so it's just a rubble, right? A bit of a hunk of wall. As you approach, you start to feel a strange tingle in your forehead, kind of like a headache coming on, but not quite.
I do have occasional migraines, so I hope that I'm not getting one at this time. But yes, perhaps some sort of fumes in the area. Asuka, are you feeling like I feel like I have a small amount of like a tingly headache sort of aura type thing happening. Are you?
I'd say so. I feel something quite similar in the front of my forehead.
Really?
Yes, an odd irritation. Perhaps. Really, do you think it could be fumes of the paint? He reaches out and touches the paint on the wall, and his fingers come away clean. So it is dry.
Okay. Okay. Well, perhaps if there's some sort of construction material here that's unhealthy to be around, we should not be on this site. So perhaps let's step away from this site and not become contaminated or unhealthy for some reason. Interesting.
You don't think that we should look within? There's something useful now.
Well, a couple of minutes can't hurt. Let's do this. Let's kick around in the rubble or behind this wall here and see if there's See if there's anything, any clue to the people or the pastor that were here previously.
All right, sir. He walks around the wall and starts poking through the bits of rubble, and you're finding mostly blocks of granite, chunks of wall, old burnt timbers, just old rubbish. Really is nothing here much more than bits of rubble. But as you poke around, Dan, please make me a luck roll.
The right thing on that. I've got many things here. Here? There we go. A luck roll. That's one of my abilities here, right? It's not a very good ability. Not quite.
Okay. So as you're prowling about the area, kind of looking around the bits of rubble and whatnot, a lot of the ground here is either dirt or little tufts of grass here and there. As you step towards one of the walls to take a peek at it, you can feel the ground kind of sag under your feet, and you realize a bit too late, unfortunately, that actually there's just a heavy layer of dirt and even some grass growing on top of probably some very ancient floorboards, and they creak and groan, and then there is a crack as they break and give way.
Try to jump away?
Sure. Yeah, make me a jump roll. Give me a jump roll.
Right. Also not one of my better things. No. Oh, very much not. No, unfortunately, I have not done that.
I'll remind you,
dear.
if you want, you could push the roll.
Remind me what the mechanic is for that, so I get the same chance?
Yeah, it's just a re-roll on the failed roll.
I'm going to say no to that.
Your jump's not very good.
Yeah, my jump's not good.
All right.
I say
ground
whoopsie.
gives way. You go crashing into apparently what appears to be a cellar, as the floorboards crack and break and bits of dirt and debris come crashing down on you. You take 4 hit points of damage.
Oh no.
Yeah.
How do I record that? Here? How do I record that? Here? I actually don't know how to record that, Paul.
Good question. I don't really know either. I'm gonna open up. I know that. Oh, there you go.
Right,
there you
so
go.
This doesn't seem selectable.
In the upper right, there's an edit mode button. Maybe you flip the edit button.
Okay. Whoops. Gotcha. That makes sense. Great.
Feels like there's probably a cleverer way that we were not doing.
Yeah.
There's probably a way for me to just like assign you damage or something. But anyway, for now, good enough for our purposes.
Ouch.
Okay.
I seem to have fallen.
Oh dear, sir. Are you all right?
Be careful. Be careful up there. I think I may have broken a bone.
Okay. Looking around as the dust settles, you can see about 10 feet above you, you can see Asuka leaning over, kind of holding onto a hunk of wall, kind of leaning over and looking down at you.
Very good.
In the space you're in, you can see clearly an old bit of basement, originally probably reached by a set of stairs there in the corner, but they're clearly just choked, just collapsed rubble and earth and rock and whatnot have just completely buried them. Within the space that you're in, though, as you glance around and the little bits of sun that are coming in through the hole that you've just created, you can see that there is an old cabinet, and next to that are 2 skeletons dressed in tattered silk robes.
Oh my goodness! By Jove, this is.
Oh dear!
There seem to be 2 expired people down here.
Oh dear, sir.
Yes.
That is very distressing.
Quite. What do they? What kind of condition do they look like? Are they lying down? Are they seated? Are they? So they're in robes.
They look, yeah, they're kind of, half laying or half hunched next to the cabinet. It almost looks like they're curled up or hidden or, trying to take shelter, perhaps.
Okay. And like adult sized?
Yes.
What's the condition of the robes? Is it like, are they rotted
They're
mostly
tattered.
away?
They're tattered so you go over and you kind of take a closer look at them, and you can see that the cabinet that they're next to and the robes have a fair amount of soot and ash on them. You can see that the robes are a bit torn, but also you see a lot of scorch marks, as if there was probably some kind of fire in here.
So this seems rather amazing that the bodies themselves could be reduced to skeletons, but the robes are still mostly intact, or like for the amount of like
mostly is perhaps overgenerous.
Right.
They're tatters. They're tatters of robes.
Okay, gotcha. Most strange. They have anything else like implements or bags or anything like that?
Not that you're seeing, no.
All right. So the cabinet is a bit scorched, but it's whole and it's closed. Is that right?
Correct. Yep.
All right. Well, there seems to be some sort of strange cabinet down here, Asuka. Do you think I should open it up? Now I'm very curious.
I don't know, sir. Is it quite safe? Should I go and try and find a ladder or a rope or something?
Yes, I think you should do that. Actually, I don't see any other way. That the stairs seem to be clogged with debris. So yes, I think you should do that.
Let me go see what I can find, sir.
Yes, please do that.
Please be safe down there. I'll
yes,
just
of course,
just be a moment.
Of course.
Off to go try and find something to help you get out of there.
So I look the back side of the cabinet. I walk around the cabinet. I inspect it.
So it's pushed up against a wall, right? Against the stone wall that was probably the base of the basement. But you can get around the three sides of it, and it's a wooden cabinet. It's clearly has some fire damage, but it does seem to be whole.
Well, I'm. This seems like an intriguing point here. So I cannot prevent myself from opening it up.
Right. So you open up the cabinet, and
Yes.
within you can see some more hanging robes, similar to the ones that but a little more whole than the ones the other gentlemen are wearing.
All right.
They do look like some kind of vestment, like some kind of church garb. You can also see there's a shelf in the cabinet, and you can see two books on the shelf. Although it looks like one of them has taken fairly significant fire damage. They're kind of at the top, right, where you might put hats in the cabinet.
Yeah. Okay. I pull out two of the vestments and just pack it under my arm.
Okay.
All right. So I unroll one. Do they have like any particular insignia on them, or so they're what color are they and things like that?
They appear to be like a deep purple color, and you don't see any insignia or emblems on them.
Okay, great. So I roll one. I roll two of them up and keep it under my arm, and I pick up the. So I know that I want to be careful around books that are in vulnerable, fragile shape. So I pick up the one that seems pretty robust, and I flip through that first.
Okay, great. Remind me what languages you can speak and read.
Yes, I'd be happy to. I am quite skilled in the language of English, and also Deutsch, which you may know as German, and also Latin, which of course is the one that's really important.
What is your Latin skill?
My Latin skill is 60.
Very good. Okay, so you start flipping through it, and it is written in Latin.
Of course.
And it seems to be dealing with some kind of occult matters. Talks about rituals, and the word sacrifice jumps out at you.
Oh dear.
You would have to spend some more time sifting through it and reading it, but it's definitely something very strange seeming and not quite the type of religious text you were expecting to find.
Interesting. Well, that's also somewhat perturbing, I would say. And so I guess I'll put that also under my arm for later closer inspection, and then I very gently pick up the more fragile tome and look at the cover.
You gently slide that book out, and indeed parts of it start to flake and crumble under your fingers as you're doing so. But it does appear to be an old journal, and there are a couple of pages which you are able to save. And I will show those to you. There are two pages that I have just shared with you. Yeah, you probably want to look at page 1 first. There you go. Does it automatically open in a window when I share that with you, or are you clicking them?
Yes, it does automatically open a window.
Oh, crazy. Well,
or at least a frame that I could turn into a window if I wanted to.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Interesting. Perhaps I could actually, I'll do this and then I can have more control over it. Well, it looks like some sort of rather... I don't have very much control over that. I'm zooming up everything. I'm zooming up everything on my system with the sole exception of this thing.
That's... Okay. That looks better. That looks bigger.
Got it. March the 12th, 1808. Oh my goodness, that is a very long time ago. A tome was found while digging up ye subjects. Perusing the text promises a studious practitioner the opportunity to converse with a most powerful and wise not of this world being. A wise being not of this world. While I remain skeptical, I must know what secrets lie in this long-forgotten volume. September 8th, 1808. The time is right. A month spent deciphering the meanings and intricacies of this folio have finally shown their worth. Perhaps I can make this even larger, easier to read. September the 9th. Last night will forever be printed on my mind. At the clock's ring of midnight, my closest colleagues and I set forth upon calling that which we read of the old tome, the ritual called for the blood, oh my goodness, of 3 willing individuals. Oh no. This is quite upsetting. Azuka, are you there yet? Are you there?
Just a moment, sir. I think I've got something.
All right.
Oh, damn.
Okay,
oh, damn.
Well, when you get here, there's something I will need to share with you. The 3 willing individuals led by the same blade. Oh my goodness. I am as of yet unable to remove the stain of our shared sacrifice from its surface. We spoke the words written and bent our minds to the meanings and the impossible geometries they described. For a moment I thought it was all for nothing. Then with suddenness I felt as if I was standing on the brink of an infinity of nothingness. Then the dark man was in our midst. Thus I shall call him, for his is an all-over blackness more than any African. Oh my goodness, this is somewhat perturbing in the description of black brothers and sisters. This is I consider this to be a rather foul piece of writing, but I did not write it, so. Let me continue. As though light itself dares not touch him, this mere presence caused Emily Hooper, wife of Benjamin, to let out a shriek. In other circumstances, I would remark how unfitting such behavior is amongst society. But I must admit, so startling and strange was the experience that I almost cried out in fear as well. As quickly as the dark man arrived, he had vanished back into the lightless void from which he appeared. I must contact him again. December the 14th, 1808. My studies continue. Some of my colleagues say I overreach and would hold me back, but they can do nothing. To whom would they make complaint if the public were to learn of this tome or of the nature of our weekly ceremonies? They would surely try to kill us all. Our knowledge will remain secret for the present. Oh my goodness, this is quite upsetting. Let me look at page 2, and perhaps I will right now do this and then this. How did I get that to zoom up before?
I think...
Click on it? Right, yes. Click on it. Now it holds it right. Now it's got the whole window, and now I can do what I want. Oh, my goodness. So much information here. The Brotherhood grows. We have begun construction of a meeting place. Our frequent gatherings will attract the attention if conducted openly. such as the Christian congregations and the common fraternal orders use. Construction is nearly completed. Chapel of Contemplation, yes, instead, I think that's where we are. In studying the tome, I discovered Rigor Vitae. Upon first study, Rigor Vitae appears to be a method to keep flesh from wearing through the vigors of the mortal time. What? Outrageous! Preposterous! I suspect, though, it may also be used to protection in the unlikely event that peril may strike me. Henry Weber has recently built a house on 20 Cops Hill. Well, do I still have the keys? I have the keys with me, right?
You do.
Yes, and 20 Cops Hill, as it is a short walk from the church. I wish to possess the estate and will take steps to do so. Henry Weber has fallen ill. I am quite certain there will be no recovery. I write this as I leave to purchase the deed to 20 Cops Hill. The congregation of the Chapel of Contemplation is growing in number. Amongst our new members is Daniel Ellsworth. Well, it seems inappropriate that Mr. Ellsworth would get involved in a court case with the state at a later time if he was himself an entity of the church. This is preposterous. Also, his son Peter, is head of the city council. He's head of the city council. Why didn't the police know that? His influences show to be invaluable in the future. Also, we've been converting various outcasts and vagrants willing to perform menial and abhorrent duties. I pray that the grantor of secrets is pleased. And then this column here. Our grantor of secrets has revealed to me a ritual that will manifest the hunter who once satisfied fades. My dagger, which spilt the blood of myself, oh my goodness, and 2 others, to first summon our Lord, must be used again, but this time with the more powerful and pure blood of the innocent. Oh no, I almost don't want to read the rest of this. This is Asuka. Have you got the thing at this point? The rope or the ladder of the something?
I've found a ladder, sir. I'll just lower it now. Oh dear. Okay. Oh dear. I've dropped it. Oh wait. Hold on, just a moment, sir.
Well, be careful. Make sure it's I make sure it's strong enough to bear me, but.
Slowly, a rickety-looking painter's ladder is lowered down.
All right. Well, before I guess I can't.
Can dangling from it.
Why did you leave the paint can on that? That doesn't make any sense.
I'm sorry, sir. I was in a rush. I was trying to go quickly, sir. Well,
let me finish my reading, and then I'll come up.
Finish your reading, sir.
Yes, I'm reading a thing here. Reading several pages. I fear that they might survive the trip up at this rate.
Yeah.
It has been 44 right, there's 44 years since I first discovered the ancient tome that has led me to such great power. Our Lord, grantor of secrets, revealed me the process to become that which is more than man. I will become immortal and command my own loyal subjects.
So to be fair, Dan, sorry, just going to interrupt you for a second. Those presented here in this handout linearly, of course, this was an entire book, and these are like the couple of pages that you've managed to restore or managed to hang on to.
Okay. Yeah, understood. Yes. So while I'm doing this, I'm actually transcribing some things in my own hand, my personal notebook here.
Excellent.
Making it very clear that these are quotes. There's many outrageous things here. There's many outrageous, violent, and also racist things here. And so these are all quotes, and I'm not happy about any of them.
Excellent.
My grantor of secrets has revealed me the process to become that which is more than man. Right. Those ignorant fools, if they knew who I was, they wouldn't dare speak a disparaging word in my direction, let alone file a lawsuit against me. I was tempted to send the hunter for them in their sleep, but their case has failed. It is enough. Whoever wrote this seems to be completely megalomaniacal, and I'm very unhappy about any of this. The plan is going splendidly. I rarely need to make an example very few times. However, I have forced a follower to obey thy master's will. After only 4 stern commands, I was able to turn the minister Michael Thomas to my cause. So this is not the minister himself writing this. He will carry out the plan out of fear, if nothing else. I reach the end of this life. Many of my peers do not understand what is to come, which is just as well. Soon I will cross the threshold to everlasting life and power. The plans are set. My will is writ, and Michael Thomas named executor. I mustn't tarry, for the beginning of my transformation is hand. So clearly, this was written by Mr. Corbett, right? I think this has to be Mr. Corbett's own writing, because he speaks of the Reverend and second hand and Daniel Ellsworth second hand, so it would seem to be it would seem to be William Corbett who seemed to have lost his marbles, if I may put not too fine a point on it.
So you find after having salvaged every piece of this journal you could and writing notes and whatnot, that eventually you look up and you see that the ladder is sitting there, and Asuka is leaning over, looking down at you, and you realize that you've been down there much longer than you imagined. That it's taken you some time to read all that and to transcribe all that, and you just got drawn into it. You just sort of got sucked into the work of it. At this point, I would like you to open your character sheet, please. You may increase your Cthulhu Mythos skill by 4 points.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, geez,
and
really?
Decrease your sanity by the same amount, please.
Oh, bugger. Bugger. My sanity. My permanently or temporarily?
Oh, permanently.
Ah, dang it. I feel informed, but not well.
Yes, you're very disturbed by the things that you have read.
Interesting.
So just point out, the mechanics of Call of Cthulhu mark 5 insanity points as consequential, and that is when you will suffer potentially ill, temporary, or permanent effects. Okay. So it's just under that.
Okay.
And normally you would actually get to make a sanity roll to avoid that. But in this case, it's very explicit about if you take the time to dig through the journals, you just get that.
Okay. Well, unsettling. I go up the ladder. I'm somewhat upset with myself that I let time slip away, but I guess I do that once in a while.
Yes. You find actually they're quite hungry, that it's nearly lunchtime by the time you finally climb up the ladder, and you and Asuka walk away, you carrying the couple of rolled up, the pair of rolled up robes, conveniently one each for you and Asuka.
Right.
The book, the strange book in Latin that has survived, that perhaps you may find was referenced in the notes you have copied from the journal.
Right.
Journal, all these thoughts buzzing in your head, and it's as you're walking away from the rubble and leaving that behind and headed back out onto the street, sort of some sense of normalcy comes back to you, and you look around, you can see the newsstand, you can see the buildings, and that tingling in your forehead, that oncoming headache finally subsides and leaves you, and you realize you're actually quite hungry, and it's about lunchtime, and it is 9:30, which I think is about usually when we wrap up for the night. So that's where we will leave the game for tonight. Perhaps with you and Asuka ready to get some lunch, or perhaps skip lunch and go straight on into the action.
We are definitely going to go for lunch, and I also feel like I need a smoke. I haven't had my morning constitutional smoke yet, so we should break for lunch and then do that.
Excellent. So you head a block or two away to find a small cafe where you can sit down and have some lunch and contemplate the strange morning you've had at the remains of the Chapel of Contemplation.
Quite. I'm going to be reflecting upon the Chapel of Contemplation quite deeply.
Great. Awesome. Well, things are heating up in our Call of Cthulhu game. A little bit of sanity damage. That's exciting.
I've scored my first Cthulhu Mythos skill points too.
There you go. Opportunity to do that more aplenty. We'll see how things roll out.
Interesting. Well, thank you for running that, Paul. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, my pleasure. Looking forward to session number 3. And
Me too.
We should be able to do that next week. We will also be back. I'll be back here on Thursday for folks watching. We will be. I'll be back here to run 10 Dead Rats Thursday night. And Dan, will you be playing Book of War this coming Saturday?
That's the plan. Our schedule, the schedule is never 100%, but we're going to try to get a Book of War on Saturday, so I certainly hope so.
Great. And then you and I will be back on Sunday at 1 p.m. for our normal Wandering DMs.
I'll look forward to that too.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us, and we wish you a good night.